Okay, Shalom Israel. I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakak Wadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, and Shalom to the elect. And this lesson is going to be entitled, or yeah, I might entitle it something to the extent of more proof the famine of the word is near. Okay, because as you can see on the screen I have here, the elder apostle, Rumlop, in a video he did just today, April 19, 2019, going into the news, and how you see of where he was getting into. I didn't watch the whole thing, but one thing I did notice is him going into those Amalekites, and now they're making it, he was going into the article on the blacklisted website, the article where it speaks about, now people are getting fined and basically getting in trouble for speaking against the so-called Jews, man, which they're not the Jews. Now, as you see, it says what viewer discretion is advised. Now, it says viewer discretion is advised. The following content has been identified by the YouTube community as inappropriate or offensive to some audiences. Now
much that you won't be.
I decided to look up, learn more. Okay. It says limited features for certain videos. Hate speech is not allowed on YouTube. Okay. So mind you, the apostle elder is speaking truth. You know what I'm saying? Just bringing out scriptures. All right, and telling you how the Lord feels about Esau and his wickedness. All right, what the Lord says about Esau and his wickedness, man. Coupling current events with the scriptures, man. It says hate speech is not allowed on YouTube. So now speaking the Bible is considered hate speech. Speaking truth is considered hate speech. We remove content promoting violence or hatred against individuals or groups based on certain attributes. YouTube also doesn't allow content intended to praise, promote, or aid violent criminal organizations. Content that doesn't violate our policies but is close to the removal line and could be offensive to some viewers may have some features disabled. This may include the following. This is not a complete list. Inflammatory, religious, or supremacist content without a direct call to violence or a primary purpose of promoting hatred. Conspiracy theories ascribing evil, corrupt, or malicious intent to individuals or groups based on certain attributes. Videos denying that a well-documented violent event took place. Okay, because here it is. Like I remember the apostle Tahar did the video about, here it is. You have information going out every 12 minutes, which that's prophecy of how the Lord said, go into the time of the end. And in the end, knowledge shall be increased. Okay, so right now, knowledge is being increased so much that it's exposing the devil for who he is. All right, which means what? Esau is losing his power. Okay, so now he has to, try little trinkets. All right, do little BS, little homosexual tricks. All right, to try to stop the truth. But guess what? The truth is already out there, man. And once they get sealed, all right, once they get sealed, this place is done. Okay, it says content will remain available on YouTube, but watch page will no longer have comments, suggested videos, or likes, and will be placed behind a warning message. These videos are also not eligible for ads. Having features disabled will not add a strike to your channel. Okay. So yeah, man, as you see, the famine of the word is coming real soon. All right, and I want to get into a few sites. This one being one of them, on the blacklisted news.com. And we can see, like, I remember one time I was going into in camp, I was speaking, and I was going into, just breaking down Esau and his economic hitman. breaking down Esau, his economic hitman, and just basically going more into how Esau is the devil, man. Because for those who don't know, all right, what Esau likes to do is that if a president of a certain country is not playing ball, meaning he's not following orders, all right, what America would do, all right, is that they would stage a coup, all right, to oust that president and put their own, puppet leader in, man. That's what's going on with Venezuela now, when they try to take Maduro out, all right, because he's not following so-called orders and putting their new so-called president, I forgot the guy's name, but their new so-called president, man. So it says platforms want centralized censorship that should scare you. Okay? So it says, in the immediate aftermath of the horrific attacks at the Al-Noor Mosque in Linwood Islamic Century and Christchurch, New Zealand, and internet companies face intense scrutiny over their efforts to control the proliferation of the Shura's propaganda. Okay, because like I said, there was a lot of truth that came out in which that's all it really was, a propaganda, man. It wasn't actually you know what I'm saying? Well, a lot of people have brought out that, it was a hoax, man. So it says, responding to many questions about the speed of their reaction and the continued availability of the shooting videos, several companies published posts or gave interviews that revealed new information about their content moderation efforts and capacity to respond to such a high-profile incident. Facebook, for example, describes plans for an expanded role for the Global Internet Forum to Counter Terrorism, or GIFT. The GIFT is an industry-led self-regulatory effort launched in 2017 by Facebook, Microsoft, Twitter, and YouTube. One of its flagship projects is a shared database of hashes of files identified by the participating companies to be extreme and egregious terrorist content. So for example, us, how they call us, the black Hebrew Israelites, all right, and we go out there and say the so-called white man, Esau Edom, and he's going into slavery, all right, for 1,000 years. That would be considered extreme or egregious terrorist content. Let's look up this word egregious, actually. Egregious, outstandingly bad, shocking, horrible, terrible, awful, dreadful, horrendous, frightful, atrocious, abominable, abhorrent, outrageous. Okay? So, when you go back, Slaki, let's go back to that site. Alright, so it says extreme and horrific, horrible terrorist content. The hash database allows participating companies, which include giants like YouTube and one-main operations like Just Pastoleth, to automatically identify when a user is trying to upload content already in the database. And as I read that, it made me think of, like, that's why it's so hard to find apps and stuff where you can re-upload YouTube videos, man. Because YouTube basically they started putting a clamp on a lot of that. It says in Facebook's post-church Christchurch updates, the company discloses that it added 800 new hashes to the database, all related to the Christchurch video. It also mentions that the GIFT is experimenting with sharing URLs systematically rather than just content hashes. That is, creating a centralized blacklist of URLs that would facilitate widespread blocking of videos, accounts, and potentially entire websites or forums. Okay, so Esau A, you see that the scripture say he's um what does the scripture say? Devising a mischief by law. This is what he's doing, man. You know, because he noticed that he's losing the information war. All right, so now it's time to get carnal, man. You know, this is Microsoft President Brad Smith also calls for building on the gift in a recent post, urging industry-wide action. He suggests a joint virtual command center that will enable tech companies to coordinate during major events and decide what content to block and what content is in the public interest. You know? So basically, well, I'm going to read on, Slocky. It says there has been considerable debate among journalists and media organizations about how to cover the Christchurch event in the public interest. All right? Which, you know, they brought it up again, so I feel like, I'm going to just get into it, Slocky. All right? So that basically means that they want to conceal all the so-called violence that video had in it. Smith does not explain how tech companies would be better able to reach a consensus view, in which I might add is that's hypocritical. Because here it is, okay, you want to censor the violence in certain videos, all right? But okay, what about the violent video games that you put out? Okay, what about the violent music that you play constantly on the radio? All right? Nah, man, we understand that it's a more sinister motive behind this, man. It's first and foremost, all right? And then main thing is to put a clamp upon his word. All right, so it says Smith does not explain how tech companies will be able to reach a consensus view, but unilateral decisions on that point made from a corporate and US based perspective will likely not satisfy a global user base. Okay, so I have another one here at Zero Hedge, but this is a spirit, man, because as I was reading this actually led me to this lesson. This is Zero Hedge. It's entitled "Are Conspiracy Theories Tearing Society Apart or Saving Us from Destruction?" You know, and Esau knows that, man. Esau knows that a lot more people are gravitating to this truth, are gravitating to truth in general. All right, which, like I said, makes it goes to prove that they're losing their power, so they have to do something about it. You know. So it says the phrase conspiracy theory is often used by establishment agencies, the mainstream media like CNN and stuff like that, like what Trump calls Trump calls certain media, he calls it fake news. Why is that? Because it's telling the truth. All right? So it says the phrase conspiracy theory is often used by establishment agencies, the mainstream media, and useful idiots as a tool to dismiss legitimate evidence or viewpoints that disagree with their predetermined version of events. All right? And what did we just read about on YouTube, man? All right, let's get it again. Because that's the same thing that YouTube was getting into, man. When you it says videos denying that a well-documented violent event took place. All right, just because they was pushing something on the news, that don't make it real, man. It just means that they trying to they had staged basically a false flag attack, man. All right, so it says legitimate evidence or viewpoints that disagree with the predetermined versions of events. This method of propaganda was not always as widespread as it is today. The phrase was not created by the CIA, but it was in fact weaponized by them in the 1960s after the assassination of John F. Kennedy, with the express purpose of shutting down rational debate. Okay? Because what they want the people is they want the people to basically be dumbed down, Like you see these monkeys, man. That's Americans, man. Covering their mouths, covering their eyes, covering their ears, you know? Because they want to remain asleep. And that's what this place pushes, man. You know? You know? Just you know what I'm saying? The well at ease, and you know what I'm saying? Just just be a good American, man. Don't worry about the wars that we start in. You know what I'm saying? Don't worry about um the vaccines that we're pushing upon your kids. Don't worry about none of that, man. Just continue to, you know, uh uh just continue to celebrate celebrate Easter, and go search for your Easter eggs and all that BS, man. Just continue to be a good American. When July 4th come around, don't even worry about all the bullshit we doing around the world. Just go cook out, man. So it says CIA memo 1035 through 960 circulated within the CIA in 1967 and exposed through a Freedom of Information Act requested by the New York Times in 1976 outlined strategies the agency would use to shut down critics of the Warren Commission report. In which this makes me think of how you had Rex 84 and what's the other one? COINTELPRO. All right, which that was orchestrated around the time of the 9/11 attacks, man. Actually, right before that, you know, right before that, and Slock, it actually was orchestrated because of you had people out there preaching against the year 2000, saying that all hell was going to break loose. So they created this program, COINTELPRO, all right, to counteract so-called terrorists. All right, so-called truthers, man, if you will. All right, so it says outline strategies the agency will use to shut down critics of the Warren Commission report. Specifically, they suggested the accusation of conspiracy with negative connotations attached predominantly in mainstream books and articles. This was indeed done through the CIA's many puppets in the media, and the concept of conspiracy theory as a pejorative was born. Let's look up this word pejorative, man. Expressing contempt or disapproval. Slanderous, abusive, insulting, disapproving, contemptuous. So it says this was indeed done through the CIA's many puppets in the media, and the concept of conspiracy theory as a pejorative was born. So here it is, here it is, the truth is getting out. And what's Esau doing? He's got to, hurry up and, he's got to hurry up and try to throw fire repellent agents, or try to blow it out with his fire hydrant, man. But here it is, it's a wildfire, man. It's all over the place. All you can do is try to hope to contain it. And the more you mess with it, the more it grows, man. It's going to get into it. It says, through the use of straw man arguments, red herring fallacies, and sophistry, the incredible scale of evidence exposed by investigators like New Orleans District Attorney Jim Garrison suggested the Warren Commission was either corrupt or ignorant in its findings, was buried in a flurry of hatchet jobs and hit pieces, and this was the goal, of course, to attack the messenger and silence the truth without having to go through the ugly process of directly confronting the truth. And that's what Esau wants to do, man. He wants to silence the truth. All right? He wants to silence his truth, man. Without having to confront the truth, without having to answer our questions, who is Esau Edom? You know what I'm saying? Is the Heavenly Father black? Is Christianity a lie? Without having to confront it, he's going to try to just quell it, man. Just throw a blanket over it, man. It says until recently, this strategy was highly effective. All right? until recently. And why? Because the scriptures say, I'm going to just grab it real quick. I know it's been doing a lot of reading. Isaiah chapter 30. In verse 20, and though the Lord give you the bread of adversity and the water of affliction, yet shall not thy teachers be removed into a corner any more, but thine eyes shall see thy teachers, and thy ears shall hear a word behind thee, saying, This is the way, walk ye in it. Okay? Without a shadow of a doubt. Evidence without a shadow of a doubt. When ye turn to the right hand and we turn to the left, this is the truth. Okay? You know? Talking to the elect, man. It says until recently, this strategy was highly effective. Attacking a person as a conspiracy theorist was the only tool critics really needed to keep a piece of evidence or a concrete viewpoint from going viral. Conspiracy theory is equated to insanity or stupidity or buffoonery. Everyone knows a conspiracy theorist is not to be taken seriously. So why, hey, hear this. So why waste time listening to what they have to say in the first place? You know, question mark, of course. You know, because they know, you know what I'm saying, that these men are actually telling the truth. That's why they spend so much time and money and effort, all right, to avert the masses, avert the public from listening to them. It should come as no surprise that conspiracy reality is not something these people want entertained by the public, you know, because they want to keep the people asleep, keep the people drugged up, you know what I'm saying? Because what? Truth, all right? When truth comes out, then comes questions, man. All right? You know, you can't lie anymore, man. Because when when truth comes out, you know what I'm saying? It basically, when truth comes out, it quells all the lies, man. It quells all the BS, man. You know? It said it should come as no surprise that conspiracy reality is not something these people want entertained by the public. Conspiracies are a fact of history. Government lies all the time, and they have been caught doing it. The media lies constantly and has been caught doing it. Yet we are supposed to ignore this and assume that anyone daring to stand contrary to government and media claims is some kind of lunatic, you know? But guess what, man? When you watch these movies like 2012 and the War of the Worlds, guess who they went to for answers, man? That same guy who you thought was a lunatic, man. You know, and that's going to be with us, man. Guess who they're going to go to for answers, man? Those same men on the corners scoffed and mocked. Okay? You know? It says, in the past 5 years, however, things have been changing. Suddenly, anti-establishment views and investigations of corruption are bulldozing the mainstream scripture narrative, and the elites and the media are bewildered. They can see they are losing control of popular thought, and they are disturbed, to say the least. A steady stream of articles and essays have been flooding the mainstream media, recently lamenting the rise of conspiracy culture and warning of the death of democracy if this is allowed to continue. They seem specifically angered by the idea that their journalist and professional status no longer matter to most people. Not long ago, anyone wearing a suit, uniform, a lab coat, a journalist badge, or collecting a government paycheck was supposed to be immediately taken serious as a designated expert. As Noam Chomsky described them in his book Manufacturing Consent, they were the professional class, the top 10% or less of individuals with all the answers. These were the people the establishment sought to indoctrinate most of all, because these were the community leaders that many in the public listened to without question. Now there is a growing movement of people who could not care less about what kind of degree someone's parents purchased for them from an Ivy League university. They don't care about establishment designations and fake accolades and titles and credentials. What they care about are facts and evidence, What they care about are the arguments a person puts forth, rather than how important they purport to be. This is causing some consternation among the elites. Okay? So this truth is getting out there, man. And it's a lot more in his, but this video will be forever if I read this whole thing. So this truth is getting out. Esau's getting scared, man. And it's not gonna be for long, like I said, it's just for a period of time to where the elect of you so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, which are the Israelites, the true biblical Israelites, okay, will wake up, man. And then after that, it's all hell. Okay, after that, okay, the Lord will allow Esau plans to quell this work come to pass, man. And we see we are very, very close, man. We see we are very close, man, just by, like I said, by the Apostle Rumloud's video, man. By them putting clamps, or by them basically not seizuring, but I can't even think of the word right now, but by them basically trying to regulate certain videos on YouTube now, man. Okay, so this is let me get this one, then probably end it out. This second Ezra is 5:1. Because guess what, man? Like the scriptures say, the Lord ruleth in the kingdom of men. Okay, and he set it up over those whomsoever he will, the basis of men. So the Lord allowed his truth to come out, and the Lord will allow this truth to be quelled. It's all in the Lord's hand, man. It's all in the Lord's hand, man. Okay. The Lord said what? Yahushua said, I'm the Alpha and the Omega, man. I'm the beginning and the end. All right. So the Lord, all right, our Lord, all right, which is Yahweh, and his son Yahushua, who the world calls Jesus Christ, they're the ones who control whether this truth goes out, man. All right. They're the ones who control that, man. So this is second Esdras. Hey, like it made me think of that movie, The Day the Earth Stood Still, with what's this guy, man? I'm bad with names, Salakia. I forgot this guy's name, but it basically goes to show you, man, that Esau don't have no control. All right, Esau has no control, man. In that movie, it shows you that, man. When you had the little light spirits, they came down upon Earth, and one of them, Neo from the Matrix, he basically came as an angel, and he was telling them, well, I come to destroy this earth, and they try to question him, they try to interrogate him, you know what I'm saying, they try to figure out why, but they couldn't, man. They just had to sit back and let it happen, man. And that's what's going on with this truth, man. Like I said, it's like a wildfire, man. The whole world is seeing it. People are having questions, you know what I'm saying. Like the brother in Chicago, he said, GMS, hey, we made the world read, man. That's a miracle in itself, man. All right, so this is second Esdras 5:1. It says, nevertheless, as coming the tokens, behold, the day shall come that they which dwell upon the earth shall be taken in a great number, and the way of truth shall be hidden, and the land shall be barren of faith. All right, so you got at one point in time to where the elect, the Akim out there is pushing this truth, wake up the elect. All right, fast forward into second Esdras the 5th chapter to where the way of truth will be hidden. All right, why? Because of Esau. Esau is gonna, like we said, set these laws up to quell the truth. You know what I'm saying, if you will. But iniquity shall be increased above that which thou now seest, or that thou hast heard long ago. And the land that thou seest now to have root shall thou see wasted suddenly. Which is spiritual, man, because it shows you how this the only reason this place has completely fell apart is because we out there, man. We're like the glue, you know what I'm saying, that holds a fucked up project together, man. So it says, but if the Most High grant thee to live, thou shalt see after the third trumpet that the sun shall suddenly shine again in the night, and the moon thrice in the day. And that's when Yahweh Shai is going to come back, man, ultimately, and set righteousness upon the earth, man, to where truth will no longer be evil spoken of. And blood shall drop out of the wood, and the stone shall give his voice, and the people shall be troubled, and even he shall rule whom they look not for, that dwell upon the earth. You know, those so-called conspiracy theorists, man. All right, speaking about the prophets, the men of the Lord. And the fowls shall take their flight away together, and the Sodomite sea shall cast out fish, and make a noise in the night, which many have not known, but they shall all hear the voice thereof. You know, because, hey, I advise brothers to watch that show, Black Summer, man. Going to show you how devastating this place is really going to get. There shall be a confusion also in many places, and the fire shall be oft sent out again, and the wild beasts shall change their places, and menstruous women shall bring forth monsters. It says, and salt waters shall be found in the sweet, and all friends shall destroy one another. Okay, basically meaning there's going to be no boundaries in this place. It's going to just be all hell, you know. Then shall wit hide itself, and understanding withdraw itself into his chambers. You know, like we always get into. You're not just going to be able to go on YouTube and, try to figure out what's going on. It's going to be the wisdom and knowledge that you have stored up, all right, while you yet have liberty, man. All right, the wisdom and knowledge of the Most High. And shall be sought of many, and yet not be found. Then shall unrighteousness and inconsistency be multiplied upon the earth. Okay, so what Esau is brewing up is something that he can't even handle, man. You know, this is his downfall. All right, and we're just telling you, all right, hey, to be prepared. You know, it says one land also shall ask another and say, is righteousness that maketh a man righteous going through thee? And it shall say, no. At the same time shall men hope, but nothing obtain. They shall labor, but their way shall not prosper. To shew thee such tokens I have leave. And if thou wilt pray again, and weep as now, and fast even days, thou shalt hear yet greater things. You know, so it's about to get bad out here, man. And like I said, man, Esau is about to put a clamp upon his word. All right, which Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai is going to ordain. All right, and that's how we know, man. We out. Hey, we at the door. The kingdom is at the door, man. You know, like the scriptures say, our salvation is nearer than when we believe. I'm gonna actually finish off with that. I like that precept. Romans 13:11. It says, and that knowing the time, that now it is high time to awake out of sleep, for our salvation is nearer than when we believe. So with that, shalom to the elect.